my confidence really took a big hit postpartum, and it's taken a few years for me to realize the mental effect of going back to work after being a first-time mom, and some of the things that I compromised to try to fit in or make it seem like maybe I wasn't breastfeeding in the middle of the day when I clearly was and needed to. It took a big toll on my mental health, sort of just like the corporate environment that I was in, coupled with me being overly accommodating to others' expectations of just like who I am, which is not really my personality. And it ended up just not being a good fit.
This is Full Stack Moms.
This is not a parenting podcast, nor a business podcast, but a place where we talk building careers in tech, raising kids at home, and making it work in public.
Amber, so great to have you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited, and I'm a huge fan of Outlawn.
Love
so, yes.
Lightning round, please tell us about your family and your life and your house and all of those fun facts up front.
So I live in Atlanta. I'm 34, and I grew up in the South my whole life. I have one kid, he's 3, and my spouse and I live in Atlanta, and we have a nice, bought my first house a couple years ago. And we've been here for, a couple years. I really love it. Before this, I was in Asheville, North Carolina for about 15 years. So I finished high school there. I went to college there, started my career there, and I was like, get me the frick out of here. And I came to Atlanta.
Cool. Okay. And I met you because of work / LinkedIn / HubSpot community. Is that right?
Definitely LinkedIn, Mallory. I mean, you're famous. You're like the RevOps. RevOps person. I remember being in an interview a few years ago, and the CMO who was interviewing me mentioned you, and I was like, as the pinnacle of badassness, do you like Mallory? I like Mallory.
Oh my gosh.
And I was oh shit. So I was like, yes, we follow her already. Okay, I'm good.
Hey, that's good taste. That is good taste.
That's truly kind of embarrassing, but thank you.
No, it was actually like a content-centered sort of RevOps role, so it was really different, but the CMO was referencing your thought leadership as something that's look, this is the kind of thing we're going for here. So, I think we've just been following each other for a while and I've been trying to ramp it up, so I think it's working.
And now you're a founder. You're a badass founder. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so love to get into the career story and motherhood and all of that. I am a co-founder at Passetto, and I came in through really an acqui-hire about a year ago. I was doing some not consulting as much as productized revenue operations service, kind of fractional, kind of really just like a productized service. So I was having a lot of scary fun with that. And then I got picked up and I was I have to weigh the pros and cons of this, but so far a year in, it's been super worth it. And it's really fun to have that startup level team. So I'm the head of revenue operations there. And then I also serve as the chief revenue officer, being that I do sales and I help with our, positioning and our offers and stuff like that, which you don't really get to do all of that stuff unless you kind of are in a startup or, you do your own thing. So it's been really fun.
That sounds a little bit similar to you, Shannon. Obviously you're doing your own positioning and all of your own stuff, but you also evolved to a more productized offering over the course of your first year. And it's got to be the right move, I think, easier to describe and sell and position and have your niche and all of those things.
Yeah, I don't know if my business coaches listen to this podcast, but they helped me go from completely custom scope every time to, I call it standardized. So it's not totally productized because for me, I'm a fractional CMO, Amber. So once I get in, I have 3 clear phases with all the startups that I work with, but they're always slightly different and always take a different amount of time. So so it's a little less totally productized, but yeah, I had to get more consistent of what the heck are you buying when you buy the Shannon special. You know what I mean? Like you got to know what it is.
Yeah. I feel like Shannon, listening to you say that, I'm like, I know who you're talking about. Can we give them a shout out? Because they were my business coaches too.
They were? Do you work with Nick and Erica?
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Shout out to the duo.
Yeah, let's give Duo some flowers because they are helping so many people. And I think it's so underrated from my perspective as a woman to have a coach in general. I've had coaches for like 10 years, but at the point in my business when I was on my own, I was freaking like floundering and so bad and ended up working with them. And Nick specifically really helped me turn it around to the extent that I was like, oh my God, I'm making way more money than I was making in-house. And then all of a sudden, boom, got acquired. So it really it was like so many amazing things from them, but it's so underrated to actually ask for help in general. So I think it's good to give a shout out.
Wait,
for that.
this is, I did not know this, Amber, but
neither did I.
So this is actually motherhood related. I came back from my maternity leave. I didn't take one with my second. I took a client back at 5 weeks and I had this one client through the summer. And then I was like, I think I need to like cut the shit and like figure out what the hell I'm doing here because I can't waste time like having 18 discovery calls with a client anymore, right? Like I like a potential client giving away so much time for free, like just being really unclear, like taking all this time to create all these proposals. And I actually so I'd been on Nick's podcast, 1,000 Routes, and I had talked to him about the solopreneur journey, right? And I was like, oh, this guy does offer creation. That was like his positioning at the time. And so I actually didn't even think that I was getting a coach because I think this is it's a really hard field, especially when I think this is true for when you're going through like a motherhood career journey is like, you're very skeptical. I was very skeptical of where I was getting advice. It's scary, right? Like you're like, I need help. I need guidance, but like, there's a lot of like charlatans in the coaching space, right? Like, and it's expensive. It's not cheap, right? Because they provide a service like you should. So yeah, but I will say, it's fundamentally changed my business. And I think also like, I joke that there's never a coaching call I'm on that I don't talk about my kids. And even like in our Slack last night, I got a Slack from Nick at like 9 p.m. that said, how's your mental health this week? And I was like, funny enough, so bad. So bad. How did you know?
You're right on time. It's a terrible week.
He's like, I had a feeling. I was like, how? Like, and so I think, Amber, that's amazing. I think I didn't realize that we worked with the same folks, but yeah. So can you explain to me the acquisition process of your business? This is now just me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So here's how my career has gotten so far. Okay. So I was really a startup kid. Even in college, I just like wanted to do startup stuff, but I went to school for evolutionary biology. Okay. So I get into like tech somehow, kind of teach myself back in like the 2010s how to like make websites and stuff on whatever.
Scrappy. Love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just ended up doing operations. So then I really get into, startups a little bit more. And then I get recruited into revenue operations. And I'm like, this is scary as shit because the word revenue is in the title. And I don't know what that is. I didn't know. Yes. I was like all of a sudden reporting to a CRO. I was like, I don't know what you are. I don't know anything about sales. Like I knew a little bit about marketing because I'm very creative, right? Shannon, you're a dancer. I'm a dancer.
Yes. Oh my God.
Check. But marketing felt like a little more fun, but sales just felt very intimidating. So fumbled around that role for like a few months. Didn't really know what to do. I was kind of just following like whatever HubSpot would publish. I would be like, okay, that's what you do, right? And
not a bad place to go, of all places, you know what I mean?
That's a golden era of thought leadership right there.
2018,
inbound certification. Yeah. Like,
oh yeah.
Just get certified, do what HubSpot says. So that's how I kind of learned. Yeah. Then I started learning though, around that time, I started going on LinkedIn. And so where are the big thought leaders around revenue operations and kind of go to market? Well, Chris Walker and Refined Labs, they were crushing it. They were everywhere. And they gave out so much content, so much information. And so I just started using that as kind of like my Bible. And I basically built my skill set around like, I don't know what to do. There's so many things you can do in operations, but it doesn't seem like the CRO really cares about half that stuff. So let me just focus on this like revenue stuff. So I ended up specializing through that in sort of like the lead to cash kind of process and like tracking, revenue. It's kind of my thing. And then I got in that role, got pregnant, didn't tell my employer that I was pregnant for like 4 months, 5 months. I was remote, so I got away with it. I was so nervous to tell them. Got laid off when I was like 5 months pregnant.
So you
How
just
soon
told them?
after? Yeah.
I didn't tell them ever.
Oh,
My employer never knew that I was pregnant. They know now, I think, but
I see.
So you can't even be like, this is discrimination because they didn't even know.
They didn't know.
Nice.
So I was like the, main income for our house, right? I was like 5 months pregnant, laid off. It was like the start of a lot of the layoffs in like, 2021. So it took me like 5 months to get a job. So I was like almost having a baby by the time I got a job. But this is where I think having a baby is really good luck for me. And it actually accelerates things in my life that need to happen because I had gotten laid off. I was already working with a career coach at the time. And we had like planned like, hey, not really happy with sort of like the salary band, that I'm in, and feel like, the job titles, when you're working in a startup, it's like your job title doesn't matter because you're just you get so much other experience and stuff like that. And I was like, that's cool, but I think I could be making a lot more money. So anyway, in the process of getting laid off and then finding my next role, my income doubled.
Because you were consulting?
No, because my next role, I worked with my coach at that time to position myself and my skills in a better way to be able to get a higher paying role. So
nice.
I'm like,
good for you.
Check. That worked out. Yeah.
And you started this job like right before you were going to have a baby, right? So they hired you like 8 months pregnant?
Yeah. And my boss was awesome, very accommodating.
And they knew?
They knew.
She's like, hey, so I'm going to be out for a little bit.
They had sent me the offer and I was like, this is great. I'm going to be making so much more money. Awesome. And then I was on the phone with my coach and I was like, I really don't want to tell them that I'm pregnant. And she was like, you have to tell them. Now is the time to tell them. So I was like, okay.
You got the offer and then you told them. So they loved you already. So So it would have been very obvious if they rescinded the offer, it was because you were pregnant.
Right. But they were like, that's fine. Ended up continuing to study, the same stuff, right? So it all kind of is funny the way it works out. But that was rough because coming into really like needing to really, I kind of ramped up. I had almost 90 days to ramp up into my role before I went on leave. But the leave was not paid and 2 months long. So it was good. I was grateful for it. They ended up accidentally paying me. And so I had to like tell them that they accidentally paid me during leave and like give the money back. But that was fine.
Startups.
But then going back into it, I think that my confidence really took a big hit postpartum. And it's taken a few years for me to realize the mental effect of going back to work after being a first-time mom and some of the things that I compromised to try to fit in or make it seem like maybe I wasn't breastfeeding in the middle of the day when I clearly was and needed to. It took a big toll on my mental health, sort of just like the corporate environment that I was in, coupled with me being overly accommodating to others' expectations of just like who I am, which is not really my personality. And it ended up just not being a good fit. So it was like a year and a half in, got laid off again, right after I had just bought my first house and moved my family to the city. So that sucks.
Isn't that how it always goes, though? It's always something big that happens. It's like things happen in bursts.
All the time. clusters of, yeah.
But as it often is, and not always with getting laid off, right? But often you kind of know that it's coming. And if you're being honest, you can forecast what's happening. But I think so often, like with me at the time, I was so like locked into like fear of not wanting to lose the role, and all of the news around tech and layoffs can be very scary. So I was really clinging on versus now I'm trying to be better at letting things happen and being accepting of how things can shift for the better, like you said, Shannon. So laid off, ended up really not having good luck that year in the job market either. So I was like looking at my vision board, where I had put prior to being laid off, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to put a date on it, right? In 5 years, I'm going to start. What did you do?
Looks like 5 years is today. So looks like we are.
Did you really give yourself 5 years?
Time's up.
I said within the next 5 years, I think I probably want to be a consultant when I have multiple kids. So this is when I had one 5-month-old. I said, when I have multiple kids, they have lots of stuff going on with school. I want to have more flexibility, but I'm going to grind for the next 5 years to get myself like in a place where I feel like I like deserve to be able to start my own business. And then I was like, looks like that day is, I didn't get laid off, but I just was feeling so misaligned to like the situation that I was in. Came back after a maternity leave to my VP of marketing role, and the company had just changed a lot. And they were wonderful to me. They wanted me there. They wanted me to, so the company I met, Mallory was one of our customers, and the founder's amazing. He's a great guy. It just was like, I don't think this is working. This is not going to align to like where my ambition is and also where I want my time spent. And so that's why my mantra at that time was babies make you brave. I was like looking at my son, like I would rather try this out and spend more time with him, and like we were in a financial situation where that was okay. I had a similar scenario of like, had been able to really increase my salary between like the 2020 to 2021, like when there was a big boom. I feel like that happened to a lot of people. It's funny, that job where I really increased my salary is the one where I got laid off as well, because that I think everyone realized they were overpaying for talent. But it was my new benchmark, right? Yeah, exactly. My new benchmark. And I luckily had never slipped back, which is great. But yeah, I had a similar, it's funny, I said the same thing. 5 years. I think people love to say 5 years. What is 5 years? What is 5 years? I've never had a 5-year plan in my life. I have no patience for that. So
you're right. It's not even about the fact that 5 years. For me, it's about like when you write it down, like, okay, you better know what you want. Because for me, when I write something down and I say that I want something and I, put it out there, it happens. And it doesn't always happen the way I think it's going to happen, but generally it happens. So I was like, okay, it's happening now. And like you said, Shannon, I look at my son and I think, what story do I want to tell him in, 10 years? What story do I want him to see me living? Do I want him to see me living in this like stressed out, getting a job just because, maybe accepting a lot less than I know that I want just to get a job, and struggling, mentally in an environment that I don't want to be in? Or do I want him to see me struggling to sell and struggling and growing and doing something that's scary for me and doing something that's going to grow myself? And like you said, babies make you brave. So it really gave me a lot of confidence to have him. It's kind of like your feet are on the fire. So you got to do something. But I think there's two different ways you could go. You can retreat and make yourself small and feel like a victim. And in the span of an hour, sometimes I do that too. Or you can say, I'm not going to be a victim. I am in control of what happens to me, and I'm just going to move forward. So that's what I did. And it was really a hard year. I almost lost my house. And then the business started picking up for me when I asked for help. It started picking up when I started doing the things that were scariest, like selling and prospecting and putting myself in you really know there's only a couple things that you need to do at any point in time, but oftentimes the most scariest ones we avoid. And so putting myself in that, okay, well, if this is what I'm avoiding, then I need to do this first, helped a lot. And then I ended up building a business and positioning myself in a way that it was attractive and sort of just like an obvious thing to, the team at Passetto, who I'm like, dude, like I don't even know if I would have a career if it weren't for being able to sort of follow this thought leadership for the last 5 or 6 years. So yeah, that makes sense. Let's join up. So that's what happened.
And the thing that we probably should clarify for people is that it came full circle, because the people you followed so closely, which was Chris and Refine Labs, are the same people that founded Passetto, where Passetto acquired you.
Yeah.
So that was like, for people who aren't familiar with that company, that's the full circle kind of moment there, which I think is so cool.
Yeah. Thanks. It is cool. And it's also like, hey, it's never done. You're always growing, but it's been crazy. It's been crazy to like realize like, oh, you can have what you want. And that's another thing that I feel like the whole idiom about some people like it, some people don't. But as a mom, like you can have it all, but not all at once. I don't agree with that. I think it's just a reframe for me, because I think that if you're really clear about what it is that you do want and not clouding, like when I decloud or declutter my vision from what I think other people might want of me or what I expect myself to do, there's really not that much that I really want. So I can have it all at once. It could be at different, levels, I guess.
Not at 100% all the time. Yeah, I think that's probably, that's the way I think about it too.
Yeah.
It's a good point, though. Like the having it all, is it the stuff that you want to have for yourself, or is it the stuff that you think everyone else wants you to be able to do and have?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Amber, do you do Chris's encoded journaling? Do you do do you do that work?
Yeah, I do. And it's been really helpful. The app as well is kind of like a reflection of what's been going on inside.
Just laughing. I'm like literally looking at it right now.
Yay.
Look at you.
I know. I just had a moment
where
more
in common than I realized.
I know. I looked to the left and was like, wait a minute. I was like, it was really helpful to me too, to recenter myself around like what the heck I care about. And what freedom really looks like. Like, I think there's a lot of, it's been I don't use the app, but I think it might be interesting for people to hear about it because I think everyone that listens to this is like working parents that are probably trying to navigate like what freedom looks like, right? In this life I saw this thing yesterday, and I'm going to misquote it so hard. Well, there is this statistic that working moms today in 2026 see their kids more than stay-at-home moms in the 1970s. So this idea that because they spend more time with their kids, whereas in like back in the day, your kids were just out of the house all day. They were just running around, like not with you, right? Like they were. So I think there was this article I think it was the New York Times a few years ago that was like, the millennial parents are not okay. Like, because we're so like focused on not screwing up our kids. We almost have like too much information about like what you're supposed to do. And we're working, I think this is the thing I'm going to misquote, but I read it yesterday, something like 25% more hours. Like we're on more than anyone ever has been post-pandemic, right? Like it just hasn't pulled back because you're just so omni-reachable, right? So I think it is something where everyone just feels like, I don't know if you've experienced this, both of you actually, of like feeling like you're always on, whether it's parenting or work, and needing to like, everything's always a trade-off, like every second of the day. We've talked to a lot of people on the show about that.
I think the only time that you can sort of like mentally turn off is at the end of the day when everyone, has been put to bed. And the trade-off is, do I clean up my laundry, or do I sit down and like watch a half hour of TV? And so even still, it's the trade-off. And then, my favorite thing is like the revenge bedtime procrastination, where you stay up late because you haven't been able to like choose your own adventure during the day at all.
Yep.
But then the trade-off is that you're tired the next day, and it's like, how am I supposed to get up and work out if I'm exhausted? But how am I supposed to ever mentally decompress if I can't have some time? The only time I can turn off my brain is if I'm watching something entertaining that I get kind of wrapped up in. And if it's not entertaining, I'll just sit there and work at the same time, and I'm still not relaxing at all. And so it's, like it's just very hard to actually turn off your brain. But yeah, it's always a trade-off, like you said.
What do you watch, Mallory? Love is Blind?
No, lately I like things where I have to try to figure it out. You know what I mean? Because that occupies my brain. Something that is like a thriller or a, drama type situation. I'm trying to think of what we've really liked lately. I'm going to mess it up because we actually haven't watched TV for probably like 6 months, me and Brian. We go through phases where we'll like have a show in the evening, and then we go through just a busy season where like we don't watch anything in the evening. Although he makes some time lately for the F1 show on Netflix. He loves that one.
Yeah, that's so relatable. I used to watch shows with my spouse before we got pregnant. We used to read books to each other in bed at night. And
my goodness.
We used to say affirmations every morning when we woke up in the mirror together.
Oh, what?
That's so cute.
Love to get back to that, but I think I feel like I have been getting like my butt handed to me when it comes to asking for help with my spouse, and that's something that is really hard for me. I just assume that it's all my responsibility, and then I get upset that it's all my responsibility because I made it that way. And it's been
a prison of my own creation. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to hang out with you, my spouse, but I don't want to talk to you right now. I just need some space, but I feel guilty that maybe I'm not hanging out with you. But you know what? You told me to just go to wherever, like if I need to go get a manicure, I need to go for a walk. Like you told me I have to ask for that. Like no one's going to show up in your life and be like, except for maybe Nick, the coach, and be like, how are you doing? Do you need to take some space? Like I'm always like waiting for someone to show up and be like, hey, why don't you go do XYZ? And then I'll be like, great, I'm going to go. Bye. It's like, no, like you have to ask for it and be okay with leaving the house and walking away. You know what I mean? Like that has been a challenge, but I got so frustrated. You talking about watching a show, like something to figure out, Mallory? Are you a puzzle person?
Sometimes the boys have started to enjoy puzzles.
Like a real puzzle. I don't really do real puzzles, but I feel like it's a mental thing. Like my wheels are always turning and it's just kind of fun. But I got really frustrated with something about work like a week ago. And I found that it was just bleeding over into the weekend. And I was like, I am so frustrated. Like I can't turn this off. I'm just thinking about this. I'm not going to go work because I don't have the solution. It's not going to help anything. I'm not able to like be present with my family. So what did I do? I was like, I'm going to go buy a bed from Ikea because we need it. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And then unbeknownst to me, I get home. It's one of those things that you put together where it has the 2 people on there. Ooh. But I did it by myself.
2-person job. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look at you.
I was like, I don't think this is going to take that long, babe. I got it. AKA like, leave me alone. I'm shutting myself in the room. And it took me like 3 hours to put it together. But through doing it, I was like, my brain was like, it was just like a wash of like dopamine or whatever. I was like, I'm putting this together. You have to like take it apart halfway through and like fix what you miss, and then put it back together. And it was just like getting to that completion of the thing. I was like, okay, got it. And now I'm not so frustrated about work.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I feel that way about meal prep. Like if I can put my headphones in and just chop vegetables for like an hour, it is like meditative because I can't touch my phone. I can't touch because I have to like use my hands. That's why I kind of like laundry. I said it. I kind of like it. Like for that reason.
No.
I know.
Fake news.
Only if I have time. If I have time, I like it. If I don't have time, I hate it. Right? Like that's the thing. It's like I like folding and organizing, but only when I have the capacity to do it in the way I want to do it. So
yeah.
And I will say this is like the biggest. So my husband makes fun of me about. He's the only one that actually experiences this all the time, but I can't like watch real good TV because I can't get emotionally invested in things. I'm like the opposite, Mallory. I need something that's going to like literally reset my nervous system that feels like my therapist tells me this is normal, but like that is like procedural TV show that like always wraps up at the end or like always has the same kind of cadence. So like I've watched every episode of NCIS. I have watched every episode of Law and Order. I have watched and like right now I'm watching Rizzoli and Isles for the third time. Yes, they are terrible. Absolutely horrific TV shows. They are not good. But something about them, like a part of me thinks it's because my Nana watched them when I was growing up. So it feels like comforting to me. But I like, it's the only, and we fall asleep to this. It takes us like over a week to get through one episode of Law and Order because we turn it on and then we turn on the like sleep timer and it just like turns off and we fall asleep. So it's funny. I have a similar, but I like just cannot wait. Like if I were able to like, just like either put my headphones in, listen to an audiobook or a podcast and like chop vegetables or like fold laundry while watching Law and Order. It's like I'm like an 85-year-old, but I like, it's the only thing that resets my nervous system. I swear. Like it's because I know how it's going to end. Nothing will surprise me. It's like,
and it ends, it has the completion.
Yeah.
Will solve the case.
They always do. They always find the bad guy and not in minute 20. It's always in like the 40-ish minute time frame. Like I just like have it all figured out, you know? So it's just very repeatable to me, but I can understand, Mallory, the like wanting to get engulfed in something so like you can escape into it too. Like I can see both sides. Yeah, I can see both sides.
Yeah, it's escaping. Not that my life like needs to be escaped from, you know, that's the thing that I want to make sure I say. But yeah, like there are just, we talk about having the tabs open in our brain, you know, and the mental load, like that's such a buzzword. It just like quiets a few of those background processes that are always running in the brain of like, I don't meal prep. And so I'm always like, what am I making tomorrow? What are we eating this week? What's the schedule? It's craziness. But I will say, shout out to all the people who are in the middle of Maysember is what we're calling it right now. What's the date? May 22nd. So this is my kid's last day of school.
Whoa.
And yeah, right?
That feels early to me. Is that early?
It's pretty early. It's a little early, yeah, because it's like pre-Memorial Day. They'll be done this year.
Our school district is like June 19th or something, or June 21st. It's like really late.
Yeah, that is later. Yeah. Anyway, it gets more simple in the summer because we have more help with the nanny and because we don't have to get them off to school every single morning. So I'm so excited to be wrapping up the crazy busy month of May.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope the kids have a great summer.
Yeah, they will.
Similarly, that's why I'm in a cubicle right now and not in my office because the daycare that we go to it's cooperative daycare. So the dates are a little flexible sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pick your own adventure a little bit.
Yeah. And they just like their last day of daycare was this Wednesday. And then they have like a summer session for daycare that you can sign up for. And usually we would sign up for it. But this year I was like, like my husband's not, working right now. And we just decided like, hey, like, let's just keep him home more. I mean, by that, I mean, you can keep him home more. And I would love
like a fun summer for you two.
I'd love to be there more, but my goal is to like get home earlier in the afternoons. But I have this great office and everything. But when my son is home, yeah, it's been a point of contention before in the past with my spouse because I'm like, you're watching him. Why is he banging down my door in my office? I don't want my son to feel like he can't access me just because I'm working. Like he should be doing something else. So I have to like run away from the house when he's there, but I don't mind it as much.
Where are you working?
Are you in like a co-working space?
Yeah. I used to feel big feelings about it as if like I should be able to work in my office and have my kid there and have him not ever want to see me. And I don't know, just like reached this point where I was like, whatever, like I can go somewhere else or we can coordinate. Like it's not that big of a deal. So
good for you. Good for you.
It's really hard. I've been thinking about a co-working. I don't really live near one. So that's the hard thing. But I've been thinking about wanting some space outside of the house because I feel guilty the whole time. And I don't even know if it matters to the kid. Sebastian did take his little like plastic laptop. He has like a little computer. He goes, I got work. I got work. I got work like mommy work. Like mommy's working. I got to work. And I'm like, oh, I hate that he, like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. And so I was like, I know. Yeah. He thinks it's fun. And he always says, Daddy's at work. I was like, Daddy is at work. Daddy goes to work, but mommy doesn't. And so it's like a little bit complicated for him to understand. But it is extremely hard. Like when I had someone watching my youngest in the house, I still like, it was so great that I had childcare, but there was like a mental load that really did exist while she was still in the house. Like if she cried, I could hear it. If like, cause I know I could go solve it. Like there's like, it was extremely hard. So pros and cons to working fully remote, like pros and cons.
Same. Yeah. I don't really like it. I don't really like it either. I don't like working when my son is there. Do not compute.
Oh, I think I've developed the opposite. I just like come in here to get away. I'm like, bye.
Your kids are older.
These doors. I know. They're older. It's different. They still come and knock on the door and come in, and it's fun to just see them pop in every once in a while. But
yeah,
like if I'm in here, just go. Don't even
unavail.
Ask daddy. Ask the nanny.
Yeah.
Did the nanny start tomorrow? Does she start like, oh, today's Friday. Does she start like Monday?
Today's Friday. She will start on Wednesday because we've got like the long holiday weekend. Oh, right. And then she works at the school system's preschool, and they have her last day of work there will be Tuesday. So then she'll come Wednesday. So everybody's just
set up for her too.
So excited. Yeah. I don't even remember how many years, 4th or 5th year that she's been here. And every day this week, the boys have been like, okay, which day is Miss Lauren coming? Which day is she coming? Because they're like counting down to the days. Cute. Yeah, it's the best. I love summer. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. I know we're coming down the path here. We can do save of the week. And I'm probably not going to make mine the thing I just talked about, which is like summer and nanny and all of that, because I'm sure I'll have some other fun stories once we're fully underway, right? I'm going to do Claude as my save this week. It had to happen at some point, okay? So like today's the day. My Claude has just been working overtime this week, and we're working on board meeting presentation. And I was moving some of the slides into an app in Claude so that next time around they just refresh. So a lot of time to put in this week to get them in a place where next time it'll be plug and play. So I'm very excited. Shout out to Claude.
That's so cool. Yeah, you really have to put in like the upfront effort and prioritize what you want to save yourself from in the very near future.
Right.
So cool. I love hearing about how you're using it, Mallory.
Oh, thank you. What about you, Amber? What's your save this week?
My save of the week is online grocery ordering. Just started doing it. I'm like, there's no reason that I need to be running around. It takes me like 4 hours to do groceries every weekend. And I'm like, it's my chore. I'm going to decide how to do my chore. And so I just get the groceries delivered now.
How about you, Shan?
I think I'm going to give a husband shout out this week. I don't know if he's been my save yet. I do. I know. Good old Pete. He really has been the MVP of this week. So I am currently, the nature of my job as a CMO for multiple companies is typically that I have 3 board meetings, not 1. So I am in, and some of them are an active fundraise right now. And so I am working on investor stories, decks, doing some investor intros because I've been in VC before. And it just feels like I'm doing a lot of like high stakes stuff right now, which is requiring a lot of brain power. And this is the first time in my business that I've had 3 companies at this offer, like at this like kind of level. And I hit a really awesome like milestone for my business in terms of like financially, which was really amazing. But then you realize you have to deliver as a reason why they're paying you. So I've worked every night this week and like pretty significantly, and feeling a little bit like the whole day is like whack-a-mole, and ended up at a dinner like in person with one of my clients because like a potential buyer was there. Like it was just like a lot of stuff happening at once. But Yeah. And feeling like I have to show up in like a way that isn't easy, right? Like it's like, all right, I have to think about a lot of things in the way I'm showing up. Classically was the only woman there, all that. And so my husband is just like totally pulled up in a way that like there's been no like making me feel guilty about it. So big shout out to Pete, who like just was primary parent of the year this week.
Oh, Pete.
I know. And I think he went above and beyond. He always is like an extremely like present and wonderful dad, but just really went above and beyond for me this week, which I appreciate. So saved Shan this week.
Shout out to the awesome dads that are so present.
I know. It's crazy.
Mine has to like look me in the eyes and be like, make eye contact with me and be like, babe, I got it. I got this. I got it. And then I'll be like, oh, you got it. You got it. Okay.
You do got it.
Sorry. Sorry for maybe not treating you as if I thought that you got it, because you totally got it. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go.
Oh, that's awesome. So sweet. Before we go, Shannon, I have to share with you this week, Brian and I were talking about how we're coming to Boston and how we're going to like see you and meet you and be in person and everything. And he was like, Shannon is just so cool. And I was like, I know she is. And he's like, she's so funny. And I'm like, I know. He's like, I'm excited to meet her.
Oh my God, I'm nervous. One of your kids called me a comedian too, which really just makes me nervous.
Grayson did. Grayson was like, that's Shannon. She's a comedian.
Guys, I'm just trying to survive over here. Like, I don't really know.
You are, Shannon. You have a radio voice.
Oh, God.
You have a radio voice. Yeah.
Oh, even with the situation that's happening. Oh, I'm so excited to see you in person, Mallory. I'm going to hug you so hard. I'm so excited to see you.
I know. Shannon Fan Club is coming to Boston.
Oh, my God. I cannot wait.
Little teaser for the friends listening. So pretty soon we'll be recording the episode in person.
Yes.
In person, guys.
Yeah. All right.
The moms take Boston.
Yes. All right, Amber, this was awesome. I love talking to you.
Thanks for having me, ladies.
I need to go look at this journal now. So
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna get you in.
Shout out Chris Walker.
I know. Thanks, Chris Walker. For Amber's career and for the journal. Thanks for listening to Full Stack Moms.
We'll be back with more episodes that help you see you're not crazy and you're not alone. If we might be your people, please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I accidentally did something. So like Mallory saw on LinkedIn, like I had ordered what I thought were 4 bunches of bananas a couple weeks ago. No, I thought I ordered 4 bananas. Anyways, the bananas are wrong. Okay. Like whoever's picking the bananas, they will just say, hey, I'm going to give you 4 bananas, or I'm going to give you 4 bunches of bananas. And I ended up with 10 bunches of bananas. This last weekend, and I was like, this is hilarious, like mom thing that I get to deal with. I should have realized I was paying $20 for bananas when I put them in my cart, but it didn't make sense because the last time I ordered them, they gave me individual bananas.